And welcome back to STL TV Live. I'm Tim Lampley. Still with me in the studio is Ron Gregory, who's president of the new Millennium Group and also brother of comedian activist Dick Gregory. He's here to talk about an appearance Dick is making at Sumner High School called Live and in Living Color.
Dick Gregory Live
and that's going to be a little later this month. We talked about the importance of sort of giving back. And is this one of the ways to give back to the community?
Yes.
For Dick?
Dick has benefited a great deal from the St. Louis community. Matter of fact, that was his springboard as an athlete here at Sumner High School, and that really kicked him off into wanting to get out there and be a public person.
How do you end up being an athlete and I guess somewhat of a class clown too, right?
Yeah.
They usually don't go together. Some of these athletes are usually like laid back, you know. And,
not Dick.
You know.
Matter of fact, the comedy role of him.
Was he always funny?
Yes, he was always funny. I mean, we were kids, you know. He'd be joking around the house and things like that. But when you go back to talk to some of his classmates, they talk more about his comedy side of him when he was in high school than they do about his athletic side.
Oh, I cried when I was reading something of his as I got to be an adult, and he talked about somebody coming and said, we don't serve black people at the table, and he said something like, I don't eat them either.
Right,
you know,
right.
I was dying.
It's when he got into the comedy thing, it was not just the jokes, it was the fact that he took situations that was going on in America that people didn't want to talk about. And he talked about it in a comical way where he made you laugh about it, but at the same time, he got his message across about the problems that was facing America. And I think what happened, he's always been concerned about social problems. And I think he realized that when he was just on stage and people were laughing, problems were not being solved. And what he did is he got out there and began marching with Martin Luther King and talking about the problems America faced, racial problems and things like that. And then all of a sudden, people began to realize that he was more than just a comic. He had a very serious side.
Speaking of those social problems, on a serious note, the dropout rate for African American males are somewhere reported to be about 50%. And given the fact that he's performing and some of that money goes to a scholarship fund to encourage kids to go to school, how does he feel about those type of numbers that come out and say that of those who even drop out, 1 in every 4 of them might end up incarcerated? It's very disturbing.
You know, one of the things he's constantly talked about is that when it was illegal to educate African Americans, or when the equity of education in African Americans and the regular European student in the United States, our educational rate was high. I mean, we fought and we struggled to be educated. And then all of a sudden, something happened. And now that the law, I'm saying when the law said you couldn't educate them, they found ways to educate them. And now the law says you have to educate them. And now it seems like there's a big problem.
You said people have become relaxed. They've just...
Yeah, right. Well, when there was a struggle, when they were saying that we're not going to let you do this, and there was this big fight. I mean, when we were kids, we found out that in order to get a decent job, we had to be twice as qualified.
Absolutely.
You know,
absolutely.
And it was this thing about you got to go to college.
Now, tell me how we can get more information about this event. How can we contact you?
I can be contacted at area code 314-361-7793 and just ask for Ron Gregory. You can actually come to our office at 4526 Westminster Place, where we're handling the tickets and information about being able to come to Sumner High School to see Dick Gregory perform.
Great. Again, the event is Sunday, August 12th at Sumner High School. Thank you, Ron Gregory, for joining
appreciate,
us. Really
being
appreciate
here.
your time. Also, I want to give you some information about this event, as you've seen already. And also, if you want to keep up with all the events going on around St. Louis, please remember to friend us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter. And subscribe to our YouTube channel, and you can always watch us streaming live on STL TV if you want to see this and more. Stay tuned to STL TV. We'll be right back with more.